Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Oh, hey, welcome to Ranger Danger. This is the podcast where we watch Power Rangers, I think. I think you'll like it. We talk about Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin variety after watching it. And then, we break it down a bit. We give you our thoughts. If that's something you'd enjoy, stick with us. I'm Matt.
I'm Michael.
And we have a website on the internet. It's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. You can send us an email, rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. Twitter tweets, @RangerDcast, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Facebook, Google+, TuneIn, and a store, rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop.
That's the one.
That's the one. Go there, fill up your virtual cart with goodies. Don't bring a real cart. It won't work.
I mean, it'll work as a cart, but it won't have goodies in it.
No.
Unless you put your own goodies.
Well, you can buy stuff from our store, have it delivered.
And then put it in a cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why unless you need to take it from one place to another.
Or you're just sort of like, you're playing shop.
I guess.
Yeah. We're going to watch episode number 86 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers today. That's called Zedd Waves.
Which I still don't think that's a pun.
Not that I know of.
Head wave.
Head waves?
Dead wave.
I got nothing.
No.
Maybe we'll figure it out when we watch the episode.
Yeah.
We'll be like, Zedd Waves, I get it. But probably not.
Probably not. All right.
Now, normally we talk about something Power Rangers related before we start the episode. Don't have a lot to talk about this week.
No, it's been a pretty quiet week.
It has been. But there was a trailer released for Survival's End.
Yes.
Which is not a Power Rangers thing, but it does star OG Red Ranger Austin St. John.
An all-around nice guy.
Yeah, super cool dude. And it's sort of like a survival film?
Post-apocalyptic. Mid-apocalypse.
So imagine a zombie film, but with no zombies.
That's certainly the impression I'm getting.
Yeah. Like, there's a disease that's severely contagious.
It makes your face blue.
Yeah, and then you die. There's some evil government factions that are exterminating towns to try and stop the plague, but they're not being humane about it.
Doesn't seem particularly evil.
I mean, like, I think they're just not being very safe and considerate.
Sure.
Should
be considerate even in a semi-zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, I was not blown away by it.
No.
But I think Austin St. John is like a pretty okay actor.
Yeah.
And if you're into that sort of thing, you should definitely check it out.
It's on the YouTubes.
We could probably put a note in our show notes.
Yep.
That'll link you straight to it, because that's the sort of convenience we provide here on this podcast.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much it, isn't it,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush. Let's go watch Zedd Waves. Potentially the last whole episode with the characters of Jason, Zach, and Trini.
Yeah.
That's kind of sad.
Oh, they might be... Next week is the power transfer.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll stick around to transfer powers.
Yes, but I think this will be like their last non-leaving episode.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Even though they left like a month ago.
The actors did, certainly, yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. We will see you guys in just a moment. You can go watch it if you'd like. Maybe it's on Netflix where you are. That makes it super easy. Yeah, watch it, come back, and then we'll talk about it with you. Not actually with you. We'll talk about it. You'll be there, but we won't talk to you.
I think they understand how podcasts work.
Yeah, you just got to check.
This is episode 86.
Like, the first rule of podcasting
is you do not talk about podcasting.
Never assume people know what podcasts are.
That's a pretty... It's like radio on the internet, but not really like radio.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, when you describe it like that, you can't really blame people for not getting it, can
that's
you?
fair. It's like radio on CDs on the internet.
Yeah, there we go. Welcome to Radio Danger. This is our radio on CD on the internet about Power Rangers.
All right. We'll see you guys in a bit.
All right. Welcome back to Zedd Waves. If we were to give this a letter rank, Michael, would you say it's a Z?
I mean, I don't think it's that bad.
No, that's not really how those work anyway. They usually stop at F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Z would be like the worst.
Yeah. He is the worst. This one's off to a great start. Oh, yeah, it was an alright episode.
Yeah.
It was kind of a bit of a nothing one as well. Shall we take it from the top?
Yeah, sure. The opening credits reminded me. If you haven't seen Saba in a while,
Yes.
like as something other than just a sword.
Yeah. They're super inconsistent with that. Like, every now and then he's a character.
I feel like if I had a talking, floating, laser eyes sword, I would use that all the time.
Yes, absolutely. And if I was the writer on a television series and I had a floating, talking eye sword at my disposal, I would write that character all the time.
Certainly, you'd think so.
Yeah, but that's not what we get.
So there's a triathlon happening in Stone Canyon?
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring this up, actually, because it made me remember that last week I was meant to talk about, then forgot, the fact that the way it was like sort of laid out last week made it seem like those guys just lived in Angel Grove now and hung around the youth center, and it's like Stone Canyon is outside of Angel Grove, right?
It's the next town over. I don't imagine them as being like far away from each other.
No,
like you could walk between, the Angel Grove Bank and the Stone Canyon Bank or whatever.
You could walk between them.
I'd imagine so.
Okay,
I can walk between here and the next town over.
But like that's a suburb. I don't really see that as. So you think Angel Grove is just like a suburb of a city?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit ambiguous, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, this episode just reminded me. Oh yeah, they're technically not from Angel Grove.
No.
Despite the fact that they seem to just live there now.
I mean, they came over for a peace summit, and the Rangers went over for a triathlon.
Yep.
Just a quick walk. The parks look exactly the same.
Yeah, very similar park.
Yeah. So the Stone Canyoners are competing in a triathlon this week. It's just a regular triathlon.
Yep. Tommy and Billy and Kimberly go to support their 3 new friends.
Yep.
Apparently Jason, Trini and Zach hate the new kids and never hang out with them.
Man, wouldn't that have been a great explanation? If the explanation was just, no, we don't like those guys.
Yeah.
They're not
They just seem a bit too like us.
Yeah, it feels like you're trying to replace us.
It's a weird vibe, yeah.
They've gone off scuba diving instead.
And Trini's like, what really just shat me off was when Aisha was like, oh, I really love saber-toothed tigers,
She's all like, I'm wearing yellow, I love saber-toothed tigers. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. So Kimberly comes over and lets them know that she's heard that they're picking students any day now to go to the peace conference.
Yep.
I'd have assumed you'd have done that at the mini peace conference.
Yes.
And announced it at the end as a big... Anyway, it's not what happens.
No, it's not.
Kimberly thinks they'll pick Billy.
Yep.
And
which is like... Billy and Trini, I think, are fair choices.
Billy organised the small local one.
Yeah.
I feel like that is worth a lot of bonus points, you'd think.
You'd think.
So they get into the discussion of, well, if they do pick Billy, what does that mean for the Power Rangers?
Yeah. They haven't met any cool new friends that wear blue.
No.
They'll be screwed.
Yeah, exactly. If they pick Jason, Zach, and Trini, fine.
Perfect.
I think I know what we might be able to work our way around it.
Yeah.
But if
they
pick any of the other 3, we're going to have to,
Rocky can't be a Blue Ranger. He always wears red.
Yeah.
That'd just be confusing.
Yeah. I mean, until he becomes a Blue Ranger.
Oh, fuck, he does too. So we get a shot of the 3 new Rangers stripping down.
That is what it is, isn't it?
100%. It's the 2 guys... shirtless, and they're both in pretty great shape.
I gotta say, I consider myself reasonably heterosexual.
Yeah.
Adam is not an unattractive fellow.
He is not. He's a handsome man.
And even, I've come around with you on Rocky. I understand what you don't like about him.
Yeah.
Although I don't dislike him that adamantly yet.
Yeah.
But he's also not an unattractive fellow.
Yeah, and, he, guy who plays Rocky...
Yes.
Rocky Man. He's also a really good martial artist. He pulls off those things really well. So, yeah, he has that bit down. So, yeah.
Acting, not so much.
Yeah.
Sure. So, as the Rangers watch the triathlon, Lord Zedd says, he'll just enslave the world.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, sorry. Are you able to park that just for a moment?
Yeah,
Not forget
sure.
it. about the peace conference. Billy says whoever goes to that will do a lot for humankind.
Yep.
That's kind of a big statement, right? For a teen peace conference.
Yeah, it's like you're going to the Model United Nations.
Yeah.
And you've got to solve all the problems.
Yeah. You go there and they're like, okay, guys.
Palestine.
Yeah, I was about to say Israel, Palestine.
What are we going to do?
What up? Billy, it's on you. 30 minutes.
To be
solve
fair,
it.
Billy invented a faster than the speed of sound flying VW
Oh,
bug.
yeah. Like, if you could ask someone to solve the problem, ask
If you
Billy.
could solve Israel and Palestine with some sort of magical device, he's certainly the person to go for.
With a magical VW Beetle.
Yeah, that's fine. If you need, like, people to come to a mutual understanding,
Look, I've seen enough movies where misunderstandings are solved by a magical VW Beetle.
that's fair.
Like, that's on the record as a thing that can happen.
Yep.
So, you might as well go to the source.
Yeah. All right, so my question was...
Yes, sorry.
Lord Zedd, he's going to try and, like, literally just brainwash people.
Yes.
Which he starts in Angel Grove.
Yes.
Why not start in Japan or Finland or Helsinki? Is Helsinki in Finland?
God, I should know that. I think so.
Or like Australia or any of the countries
Yeah,
that
Burke.
don't have Power Rangers in them. You could brainwash like
Cincinnati.
90% of the world
Yeah.
before you had to encounter a Power Ranger.
Yeah. I don't understand what the brainwashing is achieving. Like, I guess this gets back to this nebulous, like, what exactly does Lord Zedd want?
Yeah, because it's that thing where like if you rule the world...
Yeah.
You can't imagine that you're going to rule the world and everyone else is just going to wander around saying, "Hail Lord Zedd."
Yeah.
Like, we got to still make cars and buildings and shit. Like,
Yes.
if you rule the world for just while everyone's a zombie, I can't imagine that's particularly fun.
Yeah.
So,
to be honest, I don't properly get what Lord Zedd wants.
no.
In the long term.
To be fair to him, I didn't get what Rita wanted either.
No, that's true. Yeah.
It's just nebulously take over the world.
Yeah.
But what that actually entails, like, does he want to be the president
Yeah.
of the world?
And if so, why? He's a magic space guy.
Yeah,
He can
like-
kind of do what he wants. Like, if he wants to be president so he can have a lot of chocolate, he could probably just get a lot of chocolate.
He just has to make Chocolate-or, the magical chocolate monster.
thing that shits chocolate. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Whatever, yeah. Is it just about conquest?
Yeah, maybe he was just not hugged enough as a child.
I really like the idea that, because the impression that we were always meant to get was that Lord Zedd was like a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Right? Like when he came back, he was like, okay, Rita, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, you're down on your quota. I'm the local area manager. I'm going to have to come in for a while and take over.
So I kind of like the idea that Lord Zedd galactically
Yeah.
is like, you know, he's conquered a lot of planets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of planets where there's like flags of his face and
Yeah.
everyone goes like, let's pay some money to Lord Zedd this week for Zedd tax.
Yeah.
And then he's come to Earth
Mm-hmm.
and has now been trying for, you know, a while and has not had any luck.
Yeah.
And so he's just going now, okay, even if all I get is everyone on the planet is a zombie saying my name, that's enough. And then I can move on and conquer the Martians.
Yeah, I get that.
This is like his last ditch, like, okay, if they won't tribute to me,
Yeah.
let's just not worry about them anymore.
Yeah, Earth at least won't be like a sign of resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I buy that. Cool. You fixed Lord Zedd. Good job, Michael.
So it won't make any sense next week, probably.
No.
So Bulk and Skull
Yeah.
are pretending to fish on the triathlon lake.
Well, Skull's actually fishing.
Skull's actually fishing. Yes, that's true. So, okay, this is a bit of tortured logic from Bulk.
Yeah.
Like we've come to expect.
Yeah.
The Power Rangers are strong.
Yes.
People who compete in triathlons are strong.
Yeah, that's true.
Therefore, the Power Rangers are probably competing in the triathlon.
That actually doesn't make... it does make a bit of sense. Like, the Rangers do compete in sporting events all the time.
Yeah, it's just...
Just not this
again,
one.
Like last week, they've gone for out-of-towners.
Yeah.
And I just start with everybody at home.
Yeah.
And after that mime, I think they've just given up.
Yes.
All right, so he's got an energy output meter, which is a real thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like output? Would it need to input energy to read it?
Well, it's reading their energy output.
I see.
And it's going to
So
tell
it
him...
inputs the output.
Well, yeah. And then outputs the input.
Yeah. That makes sense, actually. That's weird.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Because they put out output, the machine inputs the output, and then it outputs what their input...
No, that's where it falls apart.
Fuck. It'd have to output another output.
Yeah.
No good.
That's why it's called an output.
Yeah. All right.
So, look, basically, Skull thinks he's got a fish.
Yep.
At which point, Lord Zedd zaps that output meter and the fishing rod. They fall into the water.
Hijinks.
Bulk says to Skull, your dad's gonna kill you again.
Does he? I missed that.
Yeah, he does. Which is like... That paints a really kind of sad portrait of Skull's home life.
Why? Because Skull's a zombie.
Well, I'm imagining that Bulk is using it metaphorically.
Oh, I see.
But that Skull's dad is probably not the nicest fellow.
Well, it'll explain why Skull has no self-esteem and is so ready to follow like a bullying father figure in Bulk.
That's probably... Oh, boy. It's alright, eventually he goes to space.
He does. But, unfortunately, he's a monkey for a little while.
You know, you win some, you lose some. Swings and roundabouts.
Sometimes you get no Snickers, sometimes you get 2 Snickers.
Look, if I had to be a monkey for 6 weeks and then I get to go to space,
Yeah.
I'd definitely consider it.
Would this be a good time to tell my Snickers story?
No, but you can tell your Snickers story anyway.
Oh, I think it relates to what we just said.
I think you're incorrect about that, but go on.
So to come over to Michael's place to do the podcast today, I had to catch the train. And to do that, I had to stop at another station before getting to the local station. So at the first station, I got off the train and I went to the vending machine and because I really wanted Snickers.
I just want to interrupt and tell all of you listeners who are waiting for like some sort of hilarious punchline, you're going to be disappointed.
No, it's not hilarious. It's deep and profound. So I go to the vending machine, I put in the number that gives you the Snickers, and no Snickers comes out.
No Snickers.
The coil turns, Snicker doesn't fall. And I'm like, I really wanted a Snickers, but I've lost my money. I'm not going to put more money in and risk it. So I hop back on the train, continue on to the next station. I get to the next station, I get out, and you're like, you know what? I really want a Snickers. So I go up to the vending machine.
Is a Snickers your favourite?
Of the chocolate bars, definitely. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So I got to the vending machine, and I'm like, look, I'm going to take my chances again. I really want it. I hesitated because I didn't want to lose my money again, but I just went ahead, put in the numbers that would get me a Snickers, and this time, 2 Snickers came out. And this was within like 10 minutes of getting no Snickers previously. So that's like Bulk and Skull, you know? Sometimes you don't get any Snickers, or you get turned into a monkey. Other times, you get to go into space in Lost Galaxy. That's 2 Snickers.
Wouldn't it be a Milky Way?
No, they leave the Milky Way, Michael. Think about it for a second before you speak.
Oh, I'm sorry for inflicting that on you guys. I might just cut it all out in post.
That's hard. Look, that is... You can learn things from that Snickers story, Michael.
What things, Matt? You've been trying to figure out a moral.
Yeah. Maybe the listeners will figure out the moral.
If you've come up with a moral to that story...
That's rangedangerpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. Or at RangerDcast on Twitter.
Subject line, Snickers moral. That'd really help me out. Thanks, guys.
Boy, okay. Look, Lord Zedd's created a monster called Beamcaster.
Yes.
He's got a giant microphone head.
Yep.
And is otherwise dressed like a Japanese hobo.
Yep.
He also has a fishing rod, which he uses to shoot mind-controlling Zedd Waves.
Yeah. He's kind of like that sort of drunken, a samurai that's lost his way, that sort of archetype.
Yeah, he's like a wandering Japanese man.
Yeah.
Except he's dubbed with like morning DJ radio announcer voice.
Which is really good.
It's really good.
It's a pity that he didn't have lightning powers. They couldn't call him Shock Jock.
Yep, that is definitely disappointing.
You know, what are you going to do? He does get a lot of great radio puns in.
It's just a nice little gimmick.
It's a pretty good gimmick.
It's like a lot of the times we just get monsters and their thing is, it talks in a high-pitched voice.
Yeah.
but sometimes we get like one that talks like Arnold Schwarzenegger or one that's a DJ, and it's just, it gives them a bit of character.
Yeah. Later on, when all the Power Rangers are mind controlled, he says, "Okay, let's check in with the traffic. The roads are all clogged with mindless Power Rangers." And I was like, that's pretty good. I like that.
All right, so Zordon is watching what's going on.
Yep.
And he uses his fishing rod to shoot Zedd Waves. They turn people into like classic brains zombies.
Yep.
Except they chant "Hail Lord Zedd."
Yep.
That's it. So Zordon and Alpha are watching it. They try and get onto Tommy. Tommy's too busy to answer.
Yeah, he's too busy drying down the shirtless boys that just got out of the water.
Matt, have you ever done a triathlon?
Michael, do I look like I've done a triathlon?
No, but you also look more likely to have done a triathlon than me.
I guess. No, I can swim, and I now ride a bike basically every day.
I'd always imagined that in the 3 legs of a triathlon, there were like gaps in between. That,
you keep going.
They do the swimming, everybody finishes the swimming, they tally the times, and then everybody does the next bit.
No,
because otherwise you're going to chafe if you're cycling wet.
No, well, no, you get the appropriate materials for your clothing.
No
good?
I would not have expected that. That's not what I expected.
Yeah. I think, but it's not very compelling for spectators if you have to sit down and dry off for half an hour.
No, people watch the Tour de France and that just stops every night. They just take a break.
That's true. They just all go to the pub afterwards.
People watch the cricket, and that's a game that they play for about 4 hours a day for 6 days.
Cricket never starts. You watch it and you keep expecting something to happen, and then after 4 days it stops.
No, the best way to watch the cricket is to watch the highlights of the cricket at the end of the game.
Or if you speed it up to like 12 times speed and play the Benny Hill music, pretty good.
That would be good. They get runs going back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other Rangers, though, Jason and Zach and Trini, they're coming back from scuba diving.
Yeah.
So,
in fact, it looks really familiar. It's like they did it before in that exact same way.
Matt, how many times could one person go scuba diving?
Only ever once.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So, Zordon contacts them.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good use of that footage.
The problem is that scuba diving is such a specific thing to have happened on the show.
Yes, that we absolutely remember that it happened.
So I remember, and I'm like, I remember that exact shot. And they do a pretty cool thing where they switch the lines out a bit, so it's not the same lines they said last time.
Yep.
But yeah, it's still very obviously the exact same thing I've seen before.
Yeah. But if you were 8, you might not notice.
It's possible. Which made me think about the Lord Zedd shots in this episode.
Yeah.
Because we get a couple of really cool classic Lord Zedd shots.
One of him spinning around on his chair.
Yeah, and there's the sort of the big spinning fan, and then you sort of pull back from that to see him. And it occurred to me that we probably could have seen those shots 6 or 7 times.
Oh, they might have only shot Lord Zedd for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then they've just used...
Well, I think 2 hours would be a big exaggeration. Yeah, maybe like half an hour. And we'd never know.
I've certainly wondered that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because why on earth would you bother... Like, given that they just dub a voice on top of him...
Yep.
Why would you ever bother, like, shooting a new shot...
Yeah.
If you could just reuse an old shot.
Yeah, it's the same thing. He gets up out of his chair, he waves his staff at Goldar a bit. Goldar looks sort of, hurt emotionally. And then at the end of the episode, he slams his fist down on the railing. Like...
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go back and compare.
Yeah.
Because the dialogue is so different every week. I mean, I say so different.
Yeah, it is somewhat different.
Yeah. I never really am paying attention to like, I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And because it's not specific, like scuba diving,
yes,
it doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So...
The Rangers come out of the water from scuba diving.
Yep.
Those 3 guys morph immediately and go to join the fight against Beamcaster, I believe he's called.
Yep.
And immediately get Zedd waved in the face and turned to zombies.
It's not the first time it's happened in the past few weeks, for obvious show reasons.
Yeah.
But it's just, you feel like when these guys get replaced, everyone's going to be like, they were,
They were kind of...
hadn't been pulling their weight this
exactly
last couple
right.
of months.
Like, it's like a performance management thing.
Yeah.
It's like, they just... a few solid weeks of not getting their shit together, and we've got these guys over here who are like doing the Power Rangers jobs without powers.
Yep.
Can't have to make the
They're
call.
unpaid interns.
Yeah, exactly.
And the like 40-year-olds who've been in the job for 30 years.
And had lost their spark and
Yeah, they're
don't
like,
really care anymore.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah.
We're replacing you with some people we're paying no money.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
And the no money thing particularly pertinent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get brainwashed.
Yep. The putties,
Yep.
meanwhile, interrupt the bicycle part of the race.
Yep.
Our three are in the lead of the bike,
Yep.
so far in front that we don't ever see anyone behind them.
No.
Or at least they are until they get off their bikes to join in the fight.
Yeah, it's this interesting thing where they seem to be in the lead, then they fight some putties and they hop on their bike and like, oh, hopefully we hadn't fallen too far behind. But if it's a path, like on a race...
They should just go past them.
Yeah, they should have seen other people.
And like we do see later where they've ended up.
Yeah.
And it's behind everyone else, but immediately behind.
Yeah, because they have a putty fight, and they also spend a decent amount of time in the command center.
Yep.
And despite that, they lose, like, not getting first place by about 5 seconds.
They come in what I guess is last.
Yeah.
But everyone crosses that finish line over 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So if they hadn't been distracted, they would have like lapped everybody else. They'd have been back doing more swimming.
Just remember, Michael, they're the world's greatest ninjas. So
They are. That's true.
you can't ever forget that.
No, you can't. So these three new guys
Yeah.
have really brought a shake-up to just the standard putty fights.
Yes.
They do different kicks and I don't know if it was like the stunt crew going, okay, we've got three new guys, let's use them differently.
Yeah.
Or if it was just if they'd had the old guys, it would have been, all right, let's see what else we can do. We're 85 episodes in.
It seems to be like Austin St. John was quite an accomplished martial artist.
Yep.
But I feel like Zach and Trini were never great at martial
Sure.
arts, whereas Adam and Aisha and Rocky are all really good.
Yep.
So it really brings up now it's just sort of Billy isn't great.
Yep.
And Kimberly's great at doing flips, but
Yeah.
that's about it. But now you have 4 of the 6 of them being high-end martial artists, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah. They do some spinny kicks.
Yeah.
Jason David Frank does like a flippy flip kick flip land kick punch thing.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. And there's this one moment where he does like full 360 degree. It's like a Daredevil. You know that flipping kick that
Yeah.
Daredevil does several times? He does that, except he does it 3 times in the row, barely touching the ground in between each one.
It's pretty impressive
It is.
stuff.
It is. It's like, okay, yeah, you earned your beloved status a fair bit with those kicks.
Yeah,
know?
those specific
Those
kicks.
specific kicks.
Yeah. All right. So Billy's going to have to build a device
Yeah.
to reverse the Zedd Waves.
A bit more humble this time. Billy doesn't stamp it with a big fucking triceratops, which is a bit out of character for him.
Oh boy, he doesn't. That's
No.
true. So Beamcaster at this point gets Bulk and Skull.
Yep.
Skull starts chanting, "Hail Lord Fred." That's just,
It's
Skull's so dumb
Yeah.
that even the mind control can't make him figure out what's going on.
I don't understand how the show can be written so poorly most of the time, but every now and then there's this little gem of greatness. It's like, that's spot on.
I think the answer is that joke genuinely isn't funnier than what they normally give him.
Yeah.
But because it happens to line up with your mental image of Skull,
Yeah.
it progresses it further.
Right. Although, I would also be totally unsurprised if that wasn't in the script and that was
Yep.
those guys just riffing because they're funny.
That's also not impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so the White Ranger.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody teleports down.
Yeah.
Almost instantly, the Rangers fuck up.
Yep.
Beamcaster just throws like 100 people at Kimberly and Billy,
Yeah.
including our 3 brainwashed Power Rangers.
Yeah.
They instantly drop the device and it gets crushed.
Trampled, yeah.
And then he gets them with Zedd Waves.
Yep.
So we're 5 for 1 at this point. It's not great.
In this situation, you don't want to call the 541.
No, because the 5 are all mind controlled.
Yeah.
So, okay, Tommy's left.
Yep.
He'll do what he can.
I was really hopeful at this point that Tommy being left meant that they had some stuff from Die Ranger that was just the White Ranger versus the monster.
That would have been very good.
But that was not what
Okay, so
we got.
what happens is Beamcaster throws bizarrely shaped bombs at Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy catches those and throws them back in separate shots.
Yeah. Although most of the time in this bit he doesn't throw them
Yeah,
back.
so
He just
there's
sits by them.
one shaped like an apple.
Yeah.
One shaped like a bit of bamboo.
Yeah.
And my favourite, one that is just a stuffed frog.
Yeah. Man, I love Die Ranger so much.
I want to know, are those like Japanese hobo stereotypes? Like, does he have those weapons because you'd go like, oh, he's a Japanese hobo, he's got an apple and a frog?
You don't want to go to the poor parts of Tokyo. You'll get frogs thrown at you all the time.
Or like, is that weird for Japan, or did that make total sense?
I don't know.
They're not even things that can be caught with like a fishing rod. If they'd been fish, that would have almost made sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. So at this point, Beamcaster says, I've checked my playlist and it's time to change your tune.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Fuck, Tommy's mind controlled now, so that's it.
I kind of felt it for the writers in this moment where they had to write lines for the monster who is a DJ who is throwing explosive apples. I can just imagine sitting at the like with your Word document open, blank screen, being like, "I've got nothing. There's nothing here to work with.
There's not a part Apple.
Apple radio, Apple Waves, Apple."
I got nothing.
Nothing.
Just have him throw a frog.
Yeah.
Have we got that frog shot? Let's use the frog.
Yeah.
So, okay, all the Power Rangers are mind controlled. So at this point, everyone is totally fucked.
Yeah.
This is the closest any villain has ever been to success.
I don't know. There's some of them that blew up the Megazord.
Yeah, but even then,
Yeah, that's true.
unfortunately for the villains,
3 more Power Rangers.
there's 3 new reserve Power Rangers. One great thing, at that point, Beamcaster goes, now it's time for me to take a commercial break. At the point that would have been a commercial break,
Yeah.
I can imagine kids going like, did he do that?
Yeah.
Did he make it be the ads?
Is he Zedd waving the TV?
Oh boy.
It's like whoever was writing just the monster dialogue for this episode is great, but they did not let him write the rest of the episode, you know?
Yeah. Yep. All right. So Rocky stumbles across the device with
Yep.
the other guys. They grab it.
Yeah, so they have to interrupt their triathlon at this point. They're on their bikes, but they notice zombies, and they're like, oh, I guess we should stop the triathlon for the zombies.
Which seems reasonable.
Yeah. And so he picks up the device. They're a bit confused. Alpha says, oh, I have to rescue those kids and teleport them out of there. Alpha teleports them to the command center. And Zordon says, oh, I brought you here because I wanted to help you, taking all the credit away from Alpha.
He really does. That's not even the weirdest thing that he does this week. But
No.
we'll get to that one in a sec.
When they teleport the 3 teens, they're teleported in just like white or silver teleportation beams.
Yep.
And I really was impressed by their restraint.
In not just making them the Power Ranger colors.
Yeah. They held off for a week. Good job there.
So Aisha
Yeah.
spent the last 3 summers working at a radio station.
Yeah, it's convenient.
She's a real dark horse. She can pick locks. She's like some sort of science technician.
Yep.
She's got lots of powers.
On top of being one of 3 world's best ninjas.
She's got skills.
Yeah.
So she says, look, the case is broken, but the thing inside is like mostly still good. And all she does is reattach a wire.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it works again. So Alpha, you could have maybe picked up on that as you're a robot. So they shoot the device. Zordon says they have to aim it at the source of the disruption,
Yes.
which is the Power Rangers?
Yeah, no, that he says that's not what happens. They just blast the beam at the Power Rangers through the viewing globe, which is a viewing globe. It's not it's not a Stargate. You know, you don't move through the viewing globe.
Even if you want to make the assumption
Yeah.
that whatever technology the viewing globe uses can be reversed, like for abilities such as this.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, like that's how the teleportation works.
Yeah.
It shoots the beam through the globe.
Yeah.
Why didn't Billy do that 20 minutes ago
Yes. At Beamcaster.
at Beamcaster?
They wouldn't even have to put on pants.
Nope.
You could just do it for
He
the command
should have
center.
had pants on, but he would not have had to have had pants on.
Yeah.
But then it's not strong enough. So Zordon amplifies it with his brain power.
He does do that. He
It
does.
just-
I don't. Which is weird because he's used his like energy to amplify things before.
Yep.
But it wasn't his brain power previously.
Even if the line had just been like, we're rerouting auxiliary power from the command center.
That's what, like, they keep making these weird, stupid decisions that are harder than easy decisions. Like with the viewing globe, why don't those three guys just teleport back to the park and use that machine on the Rangers, right?
Yep.
Easy. Or in this case, as you said, why not just reroute some of the command center's powers to the machine? Easy. You could even have, like, you know, jumper cables from a car plugged into the command center console and
Yep.
into the, like, but no.
No.
Weird, strange, just stupid decisions.
So that breaks the Power Rangers free.
Yep.
At which point they just go to fight Beamcaster.
Yep.
He gets to say the next 6 callers get to hail Lord Zedd.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
He's just, oh yeah, I really am a fan of Beamcaster.
Yeah.
Just a good little monster. So he throws some more bombs, these ones being shaped like bombs.
Yep. But Tommy, in the last half an hour, has learned how to catch things with his hands.
It's a good skill.
It's a good skill.
So he throws them back.
Yeah.
And Beamcaster has enough time to go, hey, no. And then they explode on him. Like twice?
I think it's 3 times.
It just, after 2,
Yeah.
I'd definitely not be giving it a third try. Or hold on to it a little for longer, cook the grenade,
Yeah.
and then throw it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have time to throw it back.
I like Beamcaster, but he's a dumb shit.
So, Power Blaster,
Oh yeah, Power Blast comes out, they shoot a Beamcaster dies.
game over.
Game over.
Not even a Megazord.
No. It's a bit of an anticlimax.
No Tor?
No giant turtle being dropped on Beamcaster.
Nope. So that's it.
Yeah.
We catch up with everybody, and by everybody, I mean everybody except the people who are no longer on the show.
Yes.
At the end of the triathlon.
Yep.
I'm going to make a suggestion.
Yes.
If your triathlon is interrupted by monster zombies,
Yep.
maybe reschedule it.
Well, we've had this conversation before. This happens so often that if you did that, you'd never have a completed event.
That's probably fair.
You just have to keep chugging.
So, yeah, still, Rocky and Adam and Aisha come in just at the end of the crowd.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Michael, world's best ninjas.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them fast runners.
Yes, it does. They're fucking the world's best ninjas.
I don't think that's true, but okay. So everyone, like Tommy goes, you know, I'm sorry that you couldn't win. Everyone goes, it's not about the winning.
Yeah.
That's a nice little...
That's a nice sentiment.
Yeah. And they go, you know, but helping you guys was more important. They have a thinly veiled conversation about, like, you know, helping the Power Rangers.
Yes.
Literally standing next to a reporter with a camera.
Yes.
They're going to get in trouble one day.
Yeah. It's a problem.
It is a problem.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode.
That's it. I was a little disappointed by the lack of Megazord fight.
Yeah,
in
I'm
this
with
one.
you there. I was kind of hoping we'd see Tor again.
Yeah, well, I think you want to see Tor every day of your life.
I want a pet Tor who just walks around with me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And when you're, like, feeling a bit down, you could just climb inside him and get charged with energy.
Yeah.
And come back out.
It'd be great. And then occasionally you could just drop me on shit.
But we can't have that in life.
All right, Ranger Danger Creature Feature.
Yeah, this is a hard one because he was, like, kind of the opposite of last week. Awesome gimmick, really interesting. Didn't do anything interesting.
I mean, he brainwashed all the Power Rangers.
But, like, that wasn't interesting.
No, but
Like,
I
nothing
don't,
interesting came from
again, like, I don't know that that's his fault so much. I think he's a really interesting monster in a really uninteresting episode.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So,
Again, kind of the opposite of last week.
yeah, top half?
Yeah. I mean, look, they really executed on the gimmick. So, yeah, I think so.
His voice alone,
Yeah.
he deserves some bonus points for.
I agree.
Would you put him up with, like, Babe Ruthless? I think he was better than Babe Ruthless.
I don't like, because Babe's Ruthless's voice is pretty cool, but he had a better visual design.
Okay, what about, how would you compare him to how would you compare him to Soccadillo?
I reckon higher than Soccadillo.
Okay, Soccadillo is at 12.
Oh, shit.
So, higher than Soccadillo puts him pretty close.
All right.
Is he better than Snizzard? Can we say that his voice is better than Bryan Cranston?
I mean, like, no. But that's almost like by law,
Yeah.
you know?
What if we put him between Soccadillo and Snizzard at number 12?
Yeah, that's a pretty good spot. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. All right. That's Beamcaster.
Good job, Beamcaster.
Yeah. I hope he comes back.
Probably not going to happen, but we'll see.
I mean, I thought that about Pumpkin Rapper, but sometimes dreams come true, man.
Sometimes you get 2 Snickers, Michael.
Jesus. I can't believe you wasted 3 minutes of this podcast telling that story.
Wasted? That was the most insightful part of the episode.
All right. So
See, that was a life lesson you can take away. People listening to this podcast came away a bit better than they went in.
that's great. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
So we will be back next week with episode 87,
Yep.
the Power Transfer Part 1.
Yep.
It's a pretty big shake-up in the show.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if things go well, we're going to be shaking things up a little bit differently in our own way by trying something new.
We'll see on that. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We've got to go play some Dungeons and Dragons. So
Dungeon World, Michael. Get your nerd shit right.
I'd like to make it simpler for the people listening.
Okay.
They're more likely to know what Dungeons and Dragons is.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
I just want to let you know that you guys are the 2 Snickers in my life, and I hope we're the 2 Snickers in yours.
Wait, am I like the Snicker that you intended to get, or am I the backup bonus Snicker?
What do you think's better?
I don't know.
I mean, surely the extra Snicker is better.
Yeah, but I don't mind being like the reliable Snicker that you expected to get.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely that one.
I'm the Snicker that you can always like
Depend on?
Yeah, if you pay for a Snicker, you'll get. I don't like the singular form of a Snicker. I don't. It's one Snickers, 2 Snickerses.
And I'm definitely like the one that you probably won't get.
But if
when
you're
you do
lucky,
get it, it's pretty good.
Some days you get 2 Snickers.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.